Hey everyone, Gruntle back with another podcast. This week we have Ganza. He is the guy that started The Hunt back in the day and did the Hunt 4 just recently. We have a good chat about that. He's also a great member of the Borderlands community on Twitch and the Gearbox forums. And he was a very cool guy to have a podcast with. I very much enjoyed speaking with him. I hope you guys also enjoy listening to the podcast. And just a quick note about next week's podcast. There will not be one next week. There will be hopefully a podcast the week after that, though. It's just that next week I will be away on holiday. I've also lost the ability to speak properly. So I'll stop with this intro and I'll let you guys listen to the podcast. Hope you enjoy. Hello everybody, I'm Mr. Gruntle, also known as Kai, and this is the 8th episode of the podcast. Hooray! So, I'm here with an integral and wonderful member of the Borderlands community on Twitch, someone who everyone should know. Ganza, welcome to the podcast.
Hello, how's it going?
Pretty good, how are you?
I'm doing fantastic.
Excellent. So I'm looking forward to this podcast because everyone tells me you're an awesome guy. So it should be fun.
I appreciate that.
So yes, the format is usually your journey from gaming to streaming and anything else in between. But today we will start with chatting about The Hunt because that's an interesting thing that's just recently finished. But other than that, it'll be pretty much chronological order in terms of your gaming and things. And then we'll end on a Q&A, which I've got a bunch of questions from Twitter because everyone was spamming my Twitter feed.
Yeah.
So we'll be able to ask some interesting questions, hopefully, get some interesting answers. There'll also be time for anyone on Twitch who wants to ask a question at that time. If that made sense. Okay, so do you want to start with a little bit about what you do on Twitch now, just so people can know a little bit about you?
Well, primarily I play Borderlands. That's basically been the focus of my channel ever since it started. I have done other games, such as The Binding of Isaac and a lot of Minecraft stuff, especially with some people part of our Twitch team, but primarily the focus has been on the Borderlands series in general.
Right. And do you stream regularly, or is it kind of just whenever you want?
Yeah, it's kind of whenever I have a moment to spare nowadays. But I had a set schedule before, but it depends on a lot of stuff that happens around this time of year. So.
Yeah, that's fair enough. I'm pretty much the same way. I can't have a set schedule because I don't have a set schedule in normal life being a uni student. It's all just all over the place. So yeah. All right. So we should get on to things the hunt related.
Okay.
And chat about that. So, do you want to just give everyone a rundown on what the hunt actually was?
The Hunt 4 was a farming event that took place starting in February, and it just wrapped up on April 10. Basically what it was a combination of previous events and all three Borderlands games, since this was going to be the first hunt that involved Borderlands, the pre-sequel, and actually involved Borderlands 1. The other ones were primarily Borderlands 2, and they were separated by unique items. The first one was only weapons, and then the list just got bigger and bigger. So at that point, when we started looking into doing the Hunt 4, we wanted to figure out how to encompass everything in the Borderlands series and make it into the same style format, but have open participation for everybody. So yeah, that's pretty much the Hunt 4.
Right, yeah. It's a pretty giant hunt. 1,000 points and like hundreds of things to collect. Which for me actually just meant that a little bit into it, I was like, this is not going to happen. I can't do this. There's too much stuff. but it also gave it longevity, I guess. So there were still
Yeah,
people
it
doing it
was a
right up
lot
to
of
the end.
longevity.
Yeah,
Um,
I thought it was pretty cool. It was definitely a cool idea. Like before the Hunt for was being talked about, I didn't know that that was a thing because um,
Right,
I
right. It
wasn't.
started off primarily as a very small event. The first one I just started off by myself on my own Twitch channel, and the community at that time was very small,
Hmm.
and people just took interest in a type of scavenger hunt event because this was on the heels of Borderlands doing the 100K loot hunt event, which was in October of that year, I
All
believe,
right.
2013. And post that, people were looking for things to stream, and they didn't really know what to do as far as content. So I started doing this scavenger hunt, first hunt one, and it just caught on from there. And pretty much blew up like that. A lot of a lot of influence from a lot of different streamers who participated in the hunt, as well as the Gearbox forums were a big part in it as well.
Yeah, it's very cool that everyone got so involved in it. And this
Yeah,
one, I'm not sure about the other ones because I wasn't actually on Twitch that much before Hunt 4. But yeah, it's so cool to see something that can bring the whole community together to do a thing,
yes,
a challenging thing.
it is a lot of fun. Just seeing how everybody can pull together and just have fun as a community and be able to hang out and participate and drive towards a similar goal.
So
So
that's kind of the reason behind making the hunt, wasn't it?
yeah, yeah, absolutely, absolutely. It was for the community. It's always been for the community, and people, as long as they enjoy it, I mean, it's always going to be a thing.
Sweet. I was going to ask what gave you the first idea for it, but we've already covered that.
Ah,
Um, yeah. Who won this hunt? Because I haven't actually seen who won. It was
the winner
between.
of this hunt, the hunt for, is Agent Lomax with a total of 970 points out of 1,000. He was missing two 15-point weapons.
Oh,
So in 9 weeks time, he was able to get every single gun except for two weapons.
that's pretty
Uh,
incredible. It was pretty much between him and Cheese for quite a long time, wasn't it?
yeah,
Those two
yeah,
were
it
the big
was. It really
hitters.
was. Yeah, they put a lot of hours into it.
Mm-hmm.
Lomax especially, since he spent over 195 hours around that time farming the Cobra as just a single weapon, and he had probably the worst RNG I've ever seen in my entire life for that entire time. But he did get in the end, so
Yeah.
persistence is key, I guess.
Congratulations to him. Was
Yeah,
there
absolutely.
was there any kind of prize thing, or was it just like
As
gloatability?
far as far as prizes, there are no actual prizes for hashtag the Hump Four, but I have some things that I want to reach out and offer to Agent Lomax. Whether or not he's willing to accept a prize for it, that's up to him completely. But yeah, there was only really a prize for the Hunt 2, due to the fact that that was the first time that Gearbox had involvement in it. The community manager at the time, Chris F., he was able to get people to give us some Game of the Year edition codes for Borderlands 2.
All right.
So that was the only time that we had a prize.
Yeah. Well, I guess the prize is kind of the being able to lord it over everyone else. I won the hunt for, and also just the prize is the thing itself because it was quite an enjoyable event for
Absolutely,
everybody
yeah,
involved, I think.
absolutely. Yes.
So, are you happy with how it turned out, the whole thing?
Oh yeah, oh yeah. This one, I feel like is probably the biggest one that we've had so far. Um, and in terms of more people being introduced to the Borderlands community, as well as building more people around, trying to have people be around and introduce these new people who are now coming to the game with a handsome collection, introduce them to what this game's all about as far as the end game. And I feel like we did a good job.
Yeah, I guess it was good timing just with the handsome collection coming out.
Yeah, yeah. Well, yeah, yeah. We had a lot of we started talking about the Hunt for back in November, December of last year, before the new year, and
Mm-hmm.
I actually reached out to the community manager, Jeff Skull, and he was able to give me a timeline about all the stuff he was going to be releasing, post like packs and all the announcements for Borderlands and stuff like that. So we were able to fit it in the time frame where it would be beneficial to have the Handsome Collection be a general integral part of the entire event.
Right. Yeah. So you have good contact with the community people for Gearbox, then I guess.
It just goes they're really outgoing and friendly, and they will accept anybody who reaches out to them on the forums. They're always listening to the community, and they always have their ear
Right.
on the forums and on Twitter and everything. So
I guess that is kind of their job. So
yeah,
yeah. Well, that's cool. Um, I kind of want to know for yourself because you participated in the hunt.
yes,
How many points did you get in the end?
663.
Which is a pretty damn good effort. Anyone that got over 100 points, I reckon, put a good effort into it. I don't think I got over that.
Absolutely. There are so many people who I'm surprised got around 700s, 800s,
Yeah,
and it's a lot of support. Is really appreciated by. Just amazing to see all these people farming these weapons. Some of these weapons I had never seen before playing this game, in the history of playing this game, like mega cannons or iridian blue fireballs and stuff like that. That's
mm-hmm.
stuff I've never seen ever drop before, or never seen footage of anywhere. And it's pretty cool to see that, and now multiple people have it. It's kind of like reaffirming that, oh, these Borderlands 1 rare drops, they exist. They exist.
Yeah, they exist, but they're very difficult to get.
Yeah.
Well, sometimes you get them first time, which is just crazy.
That's very true.
So what was your highest and lowest moments of the hunt? What would you reckon?
I would really say one of my favorite drops for the hunt, for me personally, would be the Ajax Ogre, just because I had never seen one before.
That's in
ever
Borderlands 1,
since
isn't
playing. Yeah, it's Borderlands 1. I had never seen one ever before, and playing the game since 2009, 2010. And just knowing that that is there and seeing the Ajax Ogre drop, I have never seen one before. And yeah,
it? Sweet.
that
I'll have
and
a quick guess at what your lowest moment could be, because I was watching
I
a
think
few
you have a good
videos from
idea.
your YouTube channel just before, and I came across the one with the invader dropping
Yeah,
from a
yeah, that's a
pile of
moment
dung.
that yeah. And it's funny too because I didn't get stuck on it in previous competitions. Saturn is kind of like a misnomer for me, as in like everybody else has struggles trying to find the hive or the invader. I didn't really struggle that much with the hive in hashtag the hunt too. I
Mm-hmm.
did struggle with the invader in the first one, but I pretty much accredit that due to me being on Xbox at the time. Most of that farming time came from
Loading.
loading
Yeah.
screens. So yeah, when I was doing it this time and having really fast loading screens, and then you get to the point where you're at 7 hours in, you already saw an invader from the chest. What could possibly go wrong? That is probably the worst thing that could have ever happened to me, and it was very frustrating. It
Your
was really
reaction was
frustrating.
priceless, though. It was so good.
uh, it stormed off, and I don't know. It was getting to me just sitting there watching Saturn, and it was like, oh, he's taunting me. But in the end, it's just what are the chances, you know?
Yeah, yeah. That's quite cool. That's another thing that's happened because of the hunt is that I've seen a lot of crazy random drops out of
Oh yeah, absolutely.
random loot sources, which is kind of cool to know as well. Like I think before the hunt happened, I didn't even know that you could get legendaries out of just random like
Right, absolutely.
chests and
Yeah, yeah.
things. It's so cool.
Like people have tried before the hunt for. I remember Rob Arley85. He would have this stream. He has his bucket list where he would put some impossible tasks,
Mm,
and like one of them was get the Cobra, and the other ones were like legendary from a pot, and the jars in the Tiny Tina DLC. A couple people have found them because they just drop a generic weapon. And it's like a breakable. It's a world drop,
yeah.
same percentage chance and stuff. But seeing a lot of those during hashtag the hunt for, just it's crazy to see different types of people's luck. Oh,
And the best part is the reactions. It's always the
oh
reactions
yeah,
that
the
are awesome.
reactions. We've seen a lot of great reactions. Some not so great reactions, some angry reactions, some
Mhm.
happy reactions.
Yeah.
And yeah.
So people, you should go look on you should look on Ganza's YouTube channel for that video of the invader dropping because it is funny. Gotta see it.
Yeah. It was quite a moment.
So, I got a question on Twitter from someone, I can't remember, I don't know why I didn't write it down who it was, but someone asked, why did you decide to incorporate Borderlands 1 into the Hunt 4? And I'm thinking it was for torture? Is that what
For
you're...
torture, yes, absolutely. I hate everybody because of Borderlands 1. No. Um, Basically, I don't know. It came about as when we were thinking about brainstorming this idea that was hashtag the hunt for, going back and looking at hashtag the hunt 1 and 2, which were the ones that I was spearheading. I didn't do hashtag the hunt 3 because I was taking a hiatus from Borderlands at the time, so I let Arlisa in 85 do that one. And for hashtag the hunt 4, I wanted to be able to incorporate all the Borderlands games because this was going to be, in my eyes, like the biggest one, since this would be the first hunt post a new Borderlands game, since
Mm,
the Borderlands the pre-sequel just came out, and then it would incorporate the newest game plus everything else in the series. So why restrict it to just Borderlands 2 when there's so much going on for the franchise at that time?
yeah, and that also gave it, I guess, the longevity as we were talking about before,
Yeah,
just because there's so
absolutely. Yeah.
much to get. And also a bit of variety for people, so they could be farming a bunch of guns in Borderlands 2 and get bored with Borderlands 2 and then go into the
Right,
pre-sequel where
yeah.
everything
So yeah,
looks
there's
incredible and just
variety
be
in
like,
there.
oh, fancy pretty lights and stuff everywhere.
Yeah.
I guess you were looking through quite a lot of people's drop videos and things just to make
Hmm.
sure people
Oh yeah.
were doing the right
Yeah.
thing.
Absolutely, and it takes a lot of work to see all the different highlights. I didn't expect everybody to really highlight as much as people did. Like Lomax was able to go through and notarize everything,
Mm,
but past broadcasts, the way that judging the hunt 1 and 2 worked is basically I had some people looking at past broadcasts, but mostly it was on an honor system. To
mm.
be honest, and
It kind of has to be, otherwise,
I believe in the integrity of the people. So
yeah.
and when people stream and if they get a crazy drop, of course it's going to be a highlight. And I wanted to compile as much as I could crazy world drops and triple drops and quadruple drops and as much as possible. See different types of RNG. And it's more about that. It's more about just bringing everybody together and
Hmm.
showing that, oh, this crazy stuff can happen.
Did you have a craziest drop that you witnessed?
I did get a pearlescent in a trash can, in a doll trash can, while doing Cobra runs in the beatdown.
Oh
So I
wow.
think that would probably be the rarest thing, uh, other than um, other than a Cobra, which is that's just in and of itself. That's just tedium.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Any amazing reactions from people that you can remember?
I think by far, and I've said this before, and I really do think that Epic Dan 22 had the best reactions out of everybody
Oh yeah,
in the hunt because
that's true.
he has just that face and that personality that allows him to be just like a very amicable person. When you see him react to something, you can be like, "Wow,
Yeah, and you totally
true
know it's gonna
surprise."
come. Like when he gets a drop, you know that there's gonna be an amazing
It's
reaction,
like,
but it's
yeah,
like
yeah,
awesome every
it's just
time.
awesome. Yeah, every time, every time.
Um, were there any items that were found that weren't found by anyone? That I guess it would probably
There
be
is
those two that
Those two, yeah. Rob did find the Iridian stampeding spider gun, or at least in '85. He was able to find one from a caustic lance, just a regular infantry caustic lance, who's holding it.
okay.
So nobody found the Iridian firebomb, which is the orange variant of the flare gun. So I believe that is the rarest gun in the game. Not a single
Confirmed.
person with all the people doing army runs and Cromarax kills and running through and killing all the lance and just all the constant farming in Borderlands 1 happening at the same time. The chance that somebody would find one,
Mm,
and nobody did,
it's
which is
crazy.
pretty crazy.
So in Borderlands 1, I haven't played much of it myself. Do you get is the gun that the enemy drops the one that they're holding in their hand?
Yes, yes, it is. Yes,
Ah, that's awesome. I wish they did it in Borderlands 2 and pre-sequel.
The way that they did that, they decided to change the loot system because they had the way the guns were balanced out in Borderlands 2 are different. In Borderlands 1, they give the enemies all white so that when you're running through there, you're not going to get annihilated by somebody who's holding like something of higher rarity than what you have as you're
Right.
leveling up.
Right.
So, because the enemies by themselves are pretty beefy, especially if they have rocket launchers or anything when you're just trying to level a character. So, I think it was just in response to them rebalancing the gun systems. That's why they did that.
Right.
Oh.
Right. That makes sense. Now, someone, I usually don't do this, but someone just posted in the Twitch chat, Josh R2824 just posted, did I miss the part about neglecting his son? And he also posted a comment on my Twitter post about it too.
Gosh.
And I am quite confused about what this is. Do you want to let me know?
He is not my son.
Would he like to be
I'm
your
not
son?
that
Is that
old.
what it is?
Oh, I think that's what it is. I think he has a fascination with being my son, but no, it's just Josher. He's
Right.
he knows who he is.
Right. Anyway, so did you have anything else that you want to talk about to do with the hunt? That's pretty much my my interest, my questions gone through there.
Yeah, just I really had a blast in seeing everybody come together and participate, organize everything. Spreadsheet looked fantastic looking at it at the end, and seeing everybody's crazy drops. I had a lot of fun looking at all the stuff in the Borderlands series. And
I must say, I
had a
did
great
enjoy.
time.
I did enjoy looking at that spreadsheet. I'm one of those strange people that like spreadsheets,
Yeah,
and then
yeah.
people were color coding stuff. It was just perfect. Loved it.
Yeah, we had a lot of support for this event, and I'm really grateful for everything. Gearbox did as well. The community managers, Joe and Jeff, you guys are awesome for helping us out with all this promotion stuff from the official Twitters and everything. It
Yeah,
really
so
drove participation like tenfold. It was amazing because of you guys. So definitely mad shout outs to Gearbox Software.
yeah, thanks guys. Did they do any extra things? Like I know they did the shout outs on Twitter and things like that, but did they do anything behind the
Did
scenes?
shout outs on Twitter. They pretty much went around, checked out, retweeted, promoted, and kept in contact with us over the course of the event. And they've been checking out people's streams and keeping an eye on the community. And I can definitely see that they're interested, engaging interest in how Borderlands and the Twitch community, how Gearbox can integrate themselves into a part where they can be like feel like this is actually their community. And I'm really glad that they took an interest in hashtag the Hunt 4.
Yeah, it's a great thing as well because it means that they're interested in not just the new games that are coming out, but also the people that
Right,
are still playing the
absolutely,
old games because there's
absolutely.
a big community of people that still play the old ones.
Yep. And in progress, they're tweaking the drop rates now, and they have a thing going on until May 13 where they're actually tweaking the drop rates weekly. And it's pretty cool to see them actually being changing things in the game as it's active. Like it still has an active community. We're all still here and seeing things that are being changed now, years after the game's release,
Yeah, it's
is
good.
just amazing community support.
I think they should up the drop rates even more. Make it just because it's always awesome to
Absolutely.
get an orange. So if they make it just that much easier to get an orange, then you're just gonna have just
Yeah, no,
in a normal run.
there's one more person I want to thank. Yeah, I'm just seeing it in the chat right now. I can't thank Kazi enough. She's a Twitch admin who's been very helpful throughout the entire time we've been doing hashtag the hunt. She's been there ever since the beginning, and that was before she was an admin. And she's been a great help on Twitch and helping promote everything that the Borderlands community has to offer. So I'm really glad to have her with us.
Sweet. I didn't know Kezi was a thing. So there
Oh
we go.
yes.
Thank you, Kezi. I guess we can kind of move on to more you stuff now instead of hunt
Okay.
stuff. Unless there was anything else that you wanted to say.
I'm just glad it's over. Yay! No.
Glad it's over.
Yeah, it was a good event, but I could see a lot of people getting burnt out on it, myself included, because it's a lot of farming, and farming can be in and of itself a tedium.
Yeah. How do
So
you
yeah,
feel? How do you feel about making a lot of people hate Borderlands games now? By the way.
they all signed a waiver. It's okay.
Yeah, fine,
No,
that's fine.
but yeah, um, I, I really enjoy seeing people trying and going for crazy drops and seeing how determined people are. It's really crazy to see what a person can do when they're focused.
Hmm.
They want to be able to achieve a goal. Lomax was able to get 970 points because he streamed every day for ungodly amounts of hours for the Cobra and other drops, and it's craziness to see how dedication to one thing can be shown just like that. It's amazing for Borderlands, and
Yeah,
yeah,
shows what not sleeping can do.
uh, yeah.
I
He
like my
deserves
sleep
the
too much,
Cobra.
so.
He deserves the Cobra after 195 hours.
Oh wow,
Insane. Yeah.
that that's dedication.
Yeah. Uh, and he started several new characters in the hopes of trying to get stuff on normal mode. He did all these different types of different characters, seeing if Krieg's blood explosion was actually affecting drop rates because of the explosion at the end. And he spent so much time. It's insane, and he definitely deserves first place just for that.
Yeah, yeah. So yeah, I guess we'll move on now. We'll do that.
Alrighty.
I've said that a few times now, and we're finally going to do it. I think. So Ganza, when did you begin
Yes.
gaming? What was the first game that you can remember?
First game I can remember was Sonic the Hedgehog on Sega Game Gear, the handheld. That was a long time ago. I was probably 5 or 6 years old,
Mm-hmm.
I think. Maybe older than that. I
So,
didn't really have consoles that much until I did have a Sega Genesis, but I didn't really get into that as much until I made the switch to Nintendo and then 64. So after that, it was pretty much a lot of Donkey Kong 64, um, and a lot of the Tony Hawk games, which is coincidentally, I don't really like skateboarding, but the game itself as an arcade type thing is awesome. I
yeah,
really like
I
that for N64.
agree with that. Tony Hawk games are actually a lot of fun, even if you don't like
Yeah.
skateboarding.
Oh yeah, and I stuck with that series for a long time too, just because of that. Because I'm never really into the skateboarding type of thing, but um,
Well, it's kind of cool.
game as an
Like,
arcade
you
simulator,
can't.
yeah.
Most people, in fact, almost all people, can't do what you can do in that game in real life skateboarding. But
Right,
it's quite
exactly.
cool
It's
to
not
just
realistic
watch.
at all. I mean, people are doing kick flips and
Yeah,
and then landing and then doing a reaver and just staying balanced on a man and doing crazy things. And
I guess it's kind of what makes
it's
it fun.
super out there. Yeah, it's very arcadey, which is I really like that. But as far as other things, just basically starting out with those, I had that and a PlayStation 1.
Mm-hmm.
Those were pretty much the core of my childhood, and 64 and PS1. Um,
Now, PS1's
yeah,
something that I spent a bit of time on. So, what kind of games did you have with that?
I had a lot of racing simulators, Atari's Greatest Hit collections, uh, some really bad knockoff movie games like Street Fighter the movie,
Hmm.
that one with Jean-Claude Van Damme, who was a guile.
Oh, Jean Claude Van Damme.
Yeah, they
Ah, I,
actually
I
had
have
a.
I have a question from someone related to Jean Claude Van Damme. So,
Okay.
I'm just trying to find it. Bubblegum Frog on Twitter. He wanted to know what your obsession with Jean Claude Van Damme was. Apparently, you have an
I wouldn't
obsession.
really call it an obsession, more so as I really like cheesy action movies.
Ah, I see.
And out of all those, I mean, I got into like watching Schwarzenegger, Stallone, Dolph Lundgren, but out of all of them, my favorite is definitely Jean-Claude Van Damme, The Muscles from Brussels.
Hmm.
His movies are just so outlandish and so crazy, but they're also action-packed. It shows what America was like at the time when those movies were at the top of the box office.
Yeah,
It was pretty crazy.
he totally understands how strange and silly they are as well because he's done some
Yeah,
silly things
and
afterwards.
yeah, he made sort of a little tiny bit of a comeback when he was in last year's Super Bowl commercial for Volvo when he did a splits on top of two moving trucks,
Oh,
two
that's right.
moving
Yeah.
semi trucks. Yeah, so uh, uh, looking back at that, a lot of people didn't know. A lot of the younger like audience members watching And I'm like, who's that guy? Why
Yeah,
is
who
he
is this
talking
one?
like that? What is he doing? He's doing the splits on cars. I don't know. But it shows um, he's action star rising to the top, and now he's like very unrecognized now. His latest movie's not really doing so well. I think it's going to be a straight to Netflix type of deal, but that's how it goes. And
Yeah, yeah. Well, I mean, as long as
he
he's
was a
having
part of
fun.
American culture, and he should stay. Even though he's from Brussels, he was a very heavy influence on American culture at the time. I really enjoy his movies just for what they are. He created kind of like that stereotype that like, oh, action hero who's got an accent from another country, but I work for this, and and I really like that kind of cheesy type of action movie.
Do you have any other favorite cheesy action movies?
Um, Not really. I do like a lot of John Claude Van Damme stuff. I'm not. I absolutely am not a fan of Steven Seagal. Steven Seagal is just too monotone, too not. He was billed as an action hero that was like your everyday guy. And this was during the time that was Seagal and Jean Claude Van Damme were trying to do their movies at the same time. And I don't know. I just never got the ordinary guy vibe from him. He didn't seem intimidating. He seemed kind of silly.
Right.
And I also attest that to probably like Mad TV when they did Will Sasso, who impersonated Steven Seagal all the time. You're like, I'm gonna do this, and then snap your neck and something silly. It always ended up with somebody getting their neck snapped or broken by him in like a nonchalant way, which made it like I want to say those movies were cheesy, but they were too cheesy for me.
Right, right. Just a little bit too cheesy. I see.
Yeah.
Back to gaming, I guess. Any other
Okay.
like sweet games on PS1 or anything?
Castlevania Symphony of the Night. That would probably be the best one. Absolutely love the Castlevania series. Um, that
Those are
one.
the like puzzle games, aren't they?
Castlevania is a platformer made by Konami. It's
Okay.
Alucard and different characters running through and trying to kill Dracula. It's a whole storyline. But they have a series of games, successful series of games, and really do like the Castlevania series. Um, got into it again when they released Harmony of Despair on Xbox 360, and I had a lot of fun with that. So I do like the Castlevania series, but mainly as a kid, I played just that and a couple wrestling games, WWF SmackDown on PlayStation and WWF No Mercy on 64, and I did do Pokemon, but I was just that was just a thing to do because everybody was getting into it
Mm-hmm.
at school and stuff. So it was at the time, 1999. Blue and Red are really popular, and I have a Game Boy. Get into the Pokemon series,
Yeah, you got to
but I
check it
never
out.
progressed with it past like, Pokemon Yellow. So I missed all the things because they got way complicated after that. There's 150 Pokemon. Now it's like a billion.
Mm.
Where did the series go after that?
Yeah,
So,
yeah. I could never really get into it, mostly because I didn't have anything to play it on for ages. But when I
ah,
did, it was kind of like there's just too many other things, and I didn't really get into it when it was first a big thing. So yeah,
yeah.
it's something I never really got into. Um, oh, there was a thing in my brain that was telling me to ask you a question, and I've completely forgotten what that question was. Oh right, it was about PS1 games, and the ones that I played, there was Spyro and Crash Bandicoot. Those were the main ones for me. Did you ever get into those ones?
I never really got into Spyro. I did play Crash Bandicoot, but I never owned the game.
All
I
right.
would just play with some friends. I did get into my first couple of fighting games on PS1, Tekken, the Tekken series 1, 2, and 3. But at the time, it was just a passing thing. I didn't really know I would gauge interest in it like I am now. But I did have a lot of fun with Tekken as a kid.
So
So
you're big into fighting games now, then?
um, it's interesting. I started getting into fighting games around the time that Marvel 2 was out, and that came out on Dreamcast in around the 2000s. I never had a Dreamcast, but I really got into it around when Street Fighter 4 and that whole thing started coming around, and Evo several years ago started peaking up in viewership because of Twitch, and everybody was watching all these new fighting game tournaments on Twitch. And what really pushed it over the edge was Marvel 3 coming out, and I'm a huge Marvel vs. Capcom fan. I love Ultimate Marvel vs. Capcom. I loved playing vanilla. Super got into the scene just watching Twitch streams about Marvel and Street Fighter for a long time, and that's how I first started getting into Twitch. I followed PR Balrog and the Filipino Champ and all these different fighting game community streamers. Those were the first things that I ever watched on Twitch back in the day, and that's what got me here. So.
Right. Is that what you
Pretty
started
crazy.
streaming when you first started streaming?
No, it was not. When I first started streaming, it was Borderlands. Because I was heavily invested in playing Borderlands on the Xbox at the time, but I
Okay.
never thought about streaming it just because I didn't have the equipment. But I dug up an old capture card that I had got given to me by a friend, and who he worked at Best Buy, and I was able to get me a capture card for a decent price, and just in case I ever want to record some videos. So that's how I started doing Borderlands. I did a video here, a video there. And then I realized, hey, Twitch is a thing. I've been watching fighting game tournaments on it. I wonder if this will work with my Xbox. And then I just started playing Borderlands, and that's pretty much how the stream started.
So you had a pretty ghetto setup, I guess, then. Just kind of chucked things together
Yeah,
to
my
begin with.
my capture card, a POG HD PVR, the first gen. That was an old card. I think I got it. Oh man, it was so long ago. There's the first series of cards and it has so much screen tearing issues
Hmm.
and different types of frame rate issues, and it was a really ghetto setup. I'll tell you that because I had a capture card plugged into a laptop, which would broadcast to OBS wirelessly to Twitch. So,
Oh,
and there, yeah, that's how the stream started, and that's how the stream stayed. I didn't get into PC gaming until last June. Last June is when I built my PC, and yeah,
that's not very long
primarily
ago.
Xbox up until that point. Yeah, it's not very long ago.
Have
It
you gone
really
back
isn't.
yet? Have you gone back to console games, or is it mostly
Oh
just PC
no,
now?
it's mostly just PC now. I don't have a console set up at the moment right now. Um, Everything I've played on Xbox, I've had a lot of fun with it, but there's so much more variety on Steam.
Yeah, PC's just
Oh,
too good.
yeah, it really is. Seeing the graphical improvements that I could get out of playing Borderlands on this versus playing Borderlands on my 360, watching videos that are from back then versus right now, the comparison is no contest. It's crazy to see the difference in
Yeah,
stream quality.
and it doesn't hurt your eyes because it's a nice frame
It
rate,
doesn't
and
hurt your eyes, it doesn't lag, and your FOV is able to be changed, and
load
it's
times are
good.
just
Yeah,
incredibly
load
fast,
times,
especially if you have an
absolutely,
SSD.
absolutely,
Yeah, PC gaming, guys, that's where it's at.
it really is.
Unless you want to do it with your friends all at once, then consoles are a lot easier
I
if
mean,
you're doing it in the same room.
I understand co-op and split screen
Yeah,
couch co-op, and I understand that there's a market for that, and it shouldn't really die. I understand that people will always want, as long as there's a demand for it, people will always want four-player couch co-op games, and that's why these consoles that are out now are decent enough. I think the PS4 is going to be better than the Xbox One, in my opinion, but those things should exist, and it's good. I don't like how there's like, oh, this is better, that is better type arguments, but I'm pretty
yeah.
sure everybody's sick of that at this point. It's
I,
been going on for several years, so.
it is a good thing that those things exist, except when they make exclusive games as well. Like, I really
That's a
wanted to
problem,
play,
yeah. Oh, yeah.
what was it? It's just recently, and I can't remember the name.
Bloodborne is one of the things I was thinking
Oh, yeah,
about, the new Dark
totally.
Souls game, but it's only on PS4, so I'm
Yeah,
watching people play that on that, and it would be nice to see a PC port, although I do know that the Dark Souls ports on PC are um, as far as comparisons to their console variants, especially Dark Souls 1, but um, yeah, I'm just exclusives. They're always going to have a thing because they want to be able to make sure that they have something secure for their own console to
yeah,
make them rise up against the other competition. So
yeah. They need to
they're not
actually
going to go
sell
away.
some consoles, so yeah. The exclusives kind of will always be a thing, probably. A little
Yeah,
unfortunate for us PC gamers, though.
yeah, it is.
It's actually unfortunate for anyone that doesn't have exuberant amount of money.
That's true. Yeah.
Although I don't even know if I was particularly rich if I would buy all of the consoles and everything. So then there'd just be too many
Um.
cords everywhere.
Yeah. Yeah. I wouldn't really be interested in any console at the moment that's out right now, unless it's a PS4. To be completely honest, because of Street Fighter's exclusivity with PS4 and other things that are coming out, such as Kingdom Hearts. I did get into Kingdom Hearts back in the day because PlayStation 1, and then eventually that led to PlayStation 2 and Kingdom Hearts and all that stuff. So,
Right, is it a PlayStation exclusive series or?
yeah,
Right.
Kingdom Hearts is PlayStation exclusive, but I don't know if that's going to change with this third installment. The game's been in high demand. Kingdom Hearts 3 has been in high demand for a long time.
It's like a
People who are fans
crossover.
of the series, it's Disney and all the crazy stuff for Enix, and they did a great job with the storyline and progressing everything, and just the game itself feels fantastic, and the series is amazing.
Yeah, I've never really
A lot
looked
of
at it.
people want to see 3 coming out.
If it came out on PC, I'd buy it, guys. Come on, that's another sale. You should totally do it for PC. That's what I don't understand half the time is when it's not a game that they're bringing out to sell a console, when they have it exclusive on consoles, but on both
Right,
consoles and not on PC. It's like you're cutting out this giant market. There's a lot of people
exactly.
on PC that would love to play your game. A bit strange. Anyway, I don't think this podcast is going to change their mind on what they're going
No,
to sell on what platform.
they're
But
always
anyway,
going to be exclusives. As long as there's competition in console market, there's always going to be exclusives.
hmm so was there any particular person that inspired you to start streaming on Twitch?
Um, when I first started watching which like I said, I was super into fighting game scenes, but at the time I wasn't really playing as much fighting games as I was Borderlands. I was heavily invested in the Gearbox forums. I was heavily invested in playing Borderlands and looking at YouTube content on Borderlands and seeing people on Twitch play Borderlands. At the time, I was introduced by fighting games, but not long after that, and thinking to myself, I wonder what I should do. Watch fighting games all the time. Maybe I should watch something else. What am I playing at the time? Borderlands. Super heavy into it. And the first stream I see is a guy named Coffee Junkie. And this guy, he would play Borderlands. He would play Borderlands 2 open lobbies on Xbox 360, and I would really, really identify with it because, hey, he's a Borderlands streamer. He's playing on Xbox 360. The streaming section is very small right now. There's not a lot of people playing Borderlands, but this guy's got like 80 to 100 viewers watching him play Borderlands.
Hmm.
At that time, he was playing a lot, and he had, because he did a lot of Xbox open lobbies, people like me would go there and look for people to play with because there was not a lot of Xbox 360 on Twitch because everybody's streaming off PCs because at that time it wasn't very friendly to like there weren't all these like direct from console to Twitch streaming or direct from this game to that. So it was a lot of people watching his stream for matchmaking and playing with him, and I just ended up being a big invested member in that community. Coffee Junkie, he's a really cool dude. And,
Does he
he
still
pretty
stream? Because I
much,
haven't ever
oh
seen
yeah, he
him.
still streams, but he doesn't play Borderlands.
Mm-hmm.
He's switched over to the Pokemon streaming off of his DS,
All
so he's
right.
part of that community now. So it's pretty cool to see that. But he was integral in the part. I was like, you could do this, and I was like, do what? You could stream. It's not that hard. People wanted you to play Borderlands because at the time I would just always hang out and do open lobbies. And people were like, "Hey, you're pretty good, I guess." And like, okay, thanks, whatever. And he would just be like, "Do you have a capture card?" "Yeah, I have somewhere." And so go ahead and try it out. And after that, I was like I said, I was a member of his community, and I talked to a lot of people. Became a mod there. Talked to all like made a lot of friends there. And that's how I was really first introduced into Borderlands live streaming community. It was because of Coffee Junkie.
That's great. It's always good when you can get involved in something and then realize that you can also participate more in it. So
Yep, absolutely, absolutely. And because of him, I was able to reach out and meet up with everybody and be introduced to all these streamers and um, have more involvement with streaming and integrate more streaming Borderlands 2 and involvement with stuff that we learned from the forums, being able to demonstrate things that are happening, active changes to the games, and was just super interested in patch notes and wondering what they're going to do next because at the time there was a really heavy player base. We were all looking for content, and there wasn't a lot of people streaming Borderlands 2 at the time. They really weren't, and there were not there were none of the big channels that you see out there today. It was just really just everybody's just hanging out, pooling, and just hanging out, playing Borderlands open lobbies. Nobody really knew anybody's like channel was gonna blow up crazy. So it started out all fun. I just wanted to demonstrate stuff from the forums and be able to just hang out and play, and that's how everything started, I guess.
yeah, I guess it's continued to be fun as well for you. You're still
Yeah.
streaming
Oh yeah.
now, so
Absolutely. Yeah. Borderlands does get a little tiresome nowadays.
yeah.
Just farming in general, but we're on the end of a hunt, so there's a couple games I do want to play at the time right now that I'm gonna get a little bit investment to, and then we'll come back to the Borderlands series because I can't leave this community. I really do enjoy being a part of the Borderlands community. Um, Having fun with this game and being able to play Borderlands and have people watch. It's always going to be a thing. So I
Hmm.
really, really appreciate the support that people have given my channel, and I never expected it to be like this. So
Yeah, well, I guess you are kind of one of the founding members almost of the Borderlands community.
I
As
wouldn't
you,
say founding. I would really talk about
well,
if I'm
early at
talking about
least, I
founding
guess.
members, it would be a lot of the people that I would give credit to from the forums, people like Spunky, people like just people who have been there from the beginning and seeing all the different changes from Borderlands 1 to Borderlands 2. Um, I never really joined the forums until 2009. 2009. No, not 2009. Sorry, 2011 believe. It was somewhere in between there. I didn't create an account. I would just be following things and looking at topics and watching and seeing everything. I was not really somebody who wanted to post there, but I wanted to be able to be in the loop because I was growing more investment at the time I was playing Borderlands 1 more. I wanted to learn about that game coming off of playing Call of Duty for oh god, ungodly amounts of time
Hmm.
staying with that series because we had a lot of fun playing Call of Duty. I'm not gonna knock it, but in the end, it was a very repetitive thing.
Yeah,
And
I can oh, there's a word. I can something that uh oh man, words and brain just not working. Wow, okay. Let's ignore that. But I also got kind of heavily addicted to Black Ops 2.
yeah,
And
yeah,
it
oh
gets to
yeah,
that stage where you're like, why am I doing this? Doesn't really
exactly,
make sense for me
exactly.
to keep playing the game that I've been playing for so long.
And that's the thing. Like, I um I never really was super heavily into gaming. I did play games growing up as a child, and I did have video games always there as part of my life. PS1, PS2, N64. The original Xbox was really what started everything because Halo, I would play over at my neighbor's house, and we would all just come over and play Halo, and that was a huge thing. It was a really huge thing. And it wasn't until high school that they were like, "Hey, you still play Halo?" Yeah, I play Halo 3, which was also a huge thing. And it was like, "You should try this new game coming out. It's Call of Duty 4." And then that is just like a whole nother. And then I'm gone for like 10 years playing that game.
Were you still
So
playing
we had.
4 or did you progress into the next ones?
I played 4. I played World at War. I played Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2. I played everything in between 4 until I stopped at Black Ops 2 was the last game I heavily invested in. I got Max Prestige and all those games, and Afterwards, I was looking at Ghosts, and I didn't like what I was seeing with the changes that they made to Call of Duty Ghosts. So I decided that was it for me for the series, and that was also at the time when I was just gaining more and more investment with Borderlands. So um, it was a rough transition seeing everybody just getting burnt out on Call of Duty because I played Call of Duty with people from my high school, and it brought us all closer together as a group. Like we all hang out, we're all best friends now because we all knew each other because of Call of Duty.
Yeah,
And
that's something that I like to talk about in the podcast is the connections and friendships and stuff that you make while gaming. So,
yeah,
so
it's
you
really
got a lot of
crazy.
friends through Call of Duty then?
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. We met me and my buddy Mike. We've been playing video games on Xbox 360 for years and years and years now. He's been a good buddy of mine, and he's been there a lot. And just introducing me to everybody around from his circle, and I introduced him to people from my circle, and we all just group up and eventually you ended up with a really cool core set of friends, and I really appreciate them hanging out and being there for everything in my life. And like, um, not one of the people that I would have expected to be one of the people I would hang out with now from high school, but we have similar values and similar goals, and um, Call of Duty really brought us all together.
Which is kind of funny considering the normal people that play Call of Duty. It's
Yeah, it's
the
pretty crazy.
screaming crazy people.
Yeah, but we were super invested in the series, and it was a lot of fun at the time. But it did get burnt out, and we were all dead set on just ending it at that point.
Yeah,
We had a
sure.
good run, and yeah.
So Twitch is also a good one for getting friendships and connections and stuff. So are there anyone? Is
Yep,
there any
absolutely.
like I guess like really good friendships that you've made from Twitch?
I've made a lot of good friendships on Twitch, and just seeing everybody progress from the first community that I've seen, Coffee Junkie, is able to see all those people I made moderatorship with on that channel, hanging out and talking with them. They're really good friends. People from our Arlison 85 stream. That's the community. That's a really big Twitch community for Borderlands, and those guys, that team speak. Those are my homies for shizzle.
Hmm.
Like I'm gonna represent those guys for life. But those guys, but the core values and everything. EGN is where I feel really accepted, and it started off with Mirata and all those people, Brenson, Smikers, the Endgame Network.
Yeah, I only just realized why you have EGN at the end of your Twitter handle. It's
Yep,
because
yep, yep.
in-game
It's because
network.
the Endgame Network. After the whole thing, when people left and went to CyberPower PC and divided all the Twitch streamers into different Twitch teams. Brenson and Mir came up with this idea to corral all the different streamers at the time who they deemed just fit, and wanted to group up people who play Borderlands and be like, hey, we're pretty cool people. Why don't we just hang out and stuff? And that ended up growing into a really, really long friendship with everybody. And EGN, that Twitch team, a lot of people, um, so many memories of a lot of stuff and all the fun times hanging out in there. We've had some great moments, and I hope we continue to have great moments. I really do enjoy EGN as a clan and as a team. They're all really great people. They're all my friends.
Yeah, and fun people to watch stream as well,
Oh,
I have
yes,
to say.
absolutely. Absolutely.
I'm glad it exists. Um, what do you think were your or have been your most fun or best moments while streaming?
The best moments of streaming, just in general, over the entire time I've been streaming. I've had a lot of good times on stream. Um, um, when I first started out streaming, it was around the time of the Tiny Tina DLC release, and we had a little bit of a countdown type thing because on Xbox 360 versus Steam. The Xbox 360 gets new content in their store. I believe is it like 8 or 9 hours before Steam gets it.
Okay.
So we would always just be like waiting up at like the night before. I was like, oh, this DLC is coming out. I can't wait. I want to play it right now. So we'll just stay up. And then at that time, I was starting streaming. I was like, hey, you should just stream the Tina DLC. Why don't you just stream it? I'm like, yeah, that's a great idea. So I was planning on doing that, and I streamed the entire Tiny Tina DLC at 5 o'clock in the morning, my
Hmm.
time. And I was still a member of the forums at that time. I was just going through and gaining involvement and starting up posting and stuff. I was still a relatively new member. I created an account, even though I had been lurking there for years now, but I never really decided to post anything until I started streaming because I figured, hey, I'm going to be a presence. I might as well like involve myself, ask questions, get to know more knowledge about the game. So I played the Tiny Tina DLC, and there was this thing on the Gearbox forums saying who is going to be the first to beat the raid boss on the forums,
Ooh.
and they didn't do it. They did it by um, time of release, by platform, and time of day. So we played the Tiny Tina DLC at 5 a.m. Finished it around noon that day, and Steam was just getting the release of the Tiny Tina DLC.
Right.
And around one-ish, we got to the raid boss, and I was able to kill it not first try, it was the second try. And I didn't know what to do. I kind of freaked out because we were on Twitch and didn't know how to kill the raid boss. Nobody knew. It was all new. And
Right.
I killed the raid boss, and that ended up being the first documented kill on the forums, which I got really excited about. Made the video of it, and it blew up because of the forums.
Sweet.
Um, the
That's
forums
cool.
really deserve a lot of credit because the people there posting videos that I was able to record with my capture card and having them look at stuff and being able to like analyze things.
Yeah, that's
That
something
was
I
what
haven't
really
really
blew up the channel.
I hadn't really looked at too much as the forums, but recently I've been looking into it a bit more.
Yeah.
It's kind of a nice place for everyone to just share like fun moments and things like that.
Absolutely, absolutely. And there's a lot of knowledge that goes into the forums. There's some really great people there who know a lot about math and
Hmm.
how things work
Yeah,
in the game. And
yeah,
it's
coding
really
and
great to
things.
have those people. It's really great to have them exist because they actually know what they're talking about and math and everything that goes into damage calculation formulas and why elements work the certain ways that they do, things like that. I really attribute a lot of that to the Gearbox forums.
Yeah, it's nice to have the people with all the knowledge just giving it to everybody. Um,
Yep, absolutely, absolutely.
so the forums helped you get big on Twitch and things like that, and now I was just looking today. You have almost 100,000 views on Twitch and
Right,
almost 5,000 followers. How does it
that's
feel to
correct.
be at those number milestones?
Um, I don't really think of them as number milestones, really.
They're just kind of
There was a
things that
time
tick
when
over.
yeah, there was a time when I first started out streaming, I was like, okay, this is not really going to go anywhere. I'm going to get maybe 150 followers and stuff like that. But at the time it just grew and grew and grew because the raid boss came out. We played the Tiny Tina DLC. That whole thing happened, and then people just watched farming, and people were really invested in seeing the end game because it was the Tina DLC. It was the last piece of the core Borderlands 2 DLC, and people were interested in the game again, and people wanted to see end game. And then Gearbox comes out with the October 100K loot hunt, and everybody wants to see crazy things. People, what the premise of that was back in that October after the Tina DLC was released, Gearbox changed a couple things. The way enemies drop loot, they would have a specific goal for you, the community, to get. So the first day was, oh, the Emperor SMG is going to drop from this person, and you have to use it to kill 1 million gun loaders as a community. And people would they would be tracking the numbers through Shift and the 100K Loot Hunt website. And a lot of people on Twitch took that as a competition,
Mm-hmm.
because they had a post on the forum seeing, oh, how many kills can you get? I ended up staying up for 23 hours and farming for 16 of those hours.
Oh
Ended
my
up getting
goodness.
around 6,000 some odd loader kills, normal mode with the Emperor.
So were you
And
streaming that whole time?
yeah, I was streaming that whole time, and that was a lot of loaders. and and that was the first day, and it was a month-long event. It was all of October, so there were a lot of different bounties that people were really, really just super getting into. And I really wish that Gearbox would come out and do another event like that
Yeah,
because the
yeah.
community would really like to see stuff like that directly from Gearbox. So
Especially if they bring out a third Borderlands, a proper big
yeah,
Borderlands game.
yeah, absolutely,
They should
absolutely.
definitely do that. Or even before that. Or maybe as a hype for that. That would be
Yeah,
good. Come on,
because there's
Gearbox.
going to be people in this community who will still play all three of these games religiously.
Yeah.
There's no doubt about it. The forums showed that. People on Twitch showed that. People's resilience for this game series, they are not going to let this game series die. And I've seen a lot of people want to move on from the Borderlands, and I understand that. And whether it's the game got boring or if you have ideological differences with the company, regardless, those are all opinions, and there is still going to be a core group of Borderlands players
Hmm.
who want the series to continue.
And even those
And
who
regardless
have
of,
moved on, I'm sure they've gone back at some stage to just play a little bit
yeah,
because
of course, I'm
they've got
sure
to
people
have
will
great
always have the
memories
urge
of
to
the
go
game.
back
And
and play the game because it's such a huge part of everybody's life at
mm,
that point when people invest it in the people I've seen invest in Twitch and Borderlands, the people who play it religiously on daily basis, the people who have thousands and thousands, even hundreds and hundreds of hours on this game series. That's a lot to
hmm
invest in one game series. And it's really unique to see all the community being able to just exist as they are right now. Seeing the different types of people that are out there, seeing the different types of personalities of streamers, people's different values and goals, and understanding what it's like to coexist as a community who have one common game, Borderlands as a series.
So you spend a lot of time doing Twitch streaming of Borderlands and playing the Borderlands games and stuff, but
Yes.
what do you do when you're not doing that? Like, I guess you have work, or you have some other hobbies and
Um,
things like that?
yeah, right now I am currently a full-time business student trying to get a degree in accounting, so that's what I do
Right.
outside of Borderlands. And other than that, I'm just a regular guy. I'm not anything different. I put my pants on one leg at a time, just like everybody else. Is that the famous saying?
Yeah,
I
yeah.
believe. Yeah.
Something like that.
So yeah. Other than that, I'm just some random guy who plays video games, and people like to watch me. And I guess that's how it's been. It's just I really appreciate the support that the channel has gotten. Like I said, I never expected to be able to meet all these amazing people, and they really are truly amazing people. Every single person that I've met, and been quite an experience. It really has.
I guess you probably don't have too much time for any other hobbies. It seems to be the case with a lot of the other people that I've interviewed right now. But I may be wrong. Do you have any interesting, like, I don't know, project
Um,
things that you do in your spare time? Or
yeah, I used to be in a band back in
oh, nice.
well, yeah, we were still doing stuff and going around playing shows while I was streaming, and it was just another thing that I had going on in my life at the time. So I do enjoy music. I do enjoy playing music, and I enjoy hanging out and being on stage and stuff. It's a lot of fun for me. So I really enjoy that. And yeah,
So you're still, do you still do music stuff? You in
yeah,
the
I still
band
do open
still?
mics. No, the band, unfortunately, we did break up around November of last year, but I still do open mics around my local areas, around local coffee shops and such. There's one place that I go to all the time that does an open mic on Thursday, and it's a lot of fun. So,
So are you the vocals of the band, or were
yeah, I
you the
am a
vocals?
singer. Right now, I just do singing and acoustic guitar, but for the band I was in previously, I was just the lead singer. So,
Right.
yeah.
What genre do you sing usually?
We were an alternative rock band, but it was on the lighter side of things, but we could be heavy if we really wanted to.
Hmm.
But it was just experimental stuff as well, and I had a lot of fun. We played a lot of shows. As I'm located in the Washington D.C. area, the nation's capital, so around that area, there's a lot of support for local music, and I was going around and being able to see different venues and bars and clubs and hanging out and seeing the DC, Northern Virginia, Maryland type of support for local music. That was a lot of fun. It's also an experience that I want to have again and continue to have probably for the rest of my life. So music will always be a part of my life.
That's cool. Yeah, music. I like music. I like playing music, but for some reason I haven't been doing it lately. It's really stupid. Like I went out when I moved to Auckland early last year. I didn't really bring any music stuff with me. Like I brought my clarinet, which I'd been playing for years,
Uh,
but I
gotcha.
didn't really bring it out or anything. And then I went out and bought a guitar, a classical guitar, for like $300. I was so excited with it, and like um, I thought I was going to be playing music all the time, and then suddenly I just didn't. So I have this expensive guitar in my cupboard right now, just sitting there, and like every time I think about it, I'm like,
Oh
that would be
man,
fun to play, and then I'm just like, but Borderlands, or
but
something like,
Borderlands, yeah.
yeah. I should make some time to play some music or something like that,
Absolutely, absolutely.
because music is quite a cool thing.
Music is definitely a cool thing.
It's just way easier to listen to it than make it yourself. I'm too
Yeah,
lazy.
yeah, I do enjoy listening to music. Playing music too is a lot of fun though. And playing in front of a crowd, I really do enjoy.
Hmm. Yeah, that's something that I haven't really done. Although I think I've done like a couple of concert type things. I was in a concert band in high school, and we had a
Ah,
went to
okay, yeah.
a competition thing, and I think a couple of school presentation-y things I played my clarinet at, and things like that. But one, like, I reckon it'd be really cool to be in a proper band, like a rock band or something like that, playing in front of an audience who's really enjoying it,
Yeah,
something like that. Must be
yeah,
quite a
those
cool thing.
experiences are fun. Yes, absolutely, absolutely.
Do you have any interesting memories to do with that, or
Um,
like,
we were pretty much straightforward. Not a lot of crazy stuff happened when we were playing. We played a lot of shows in Northern Virginia, mostly that area. Um, there was one time that we did have a little bit of a frustrating ordeal when we had a spot that was booked at a local bar, and they triple booked that night. So there
ooh,
were three bands there,
ooh,
and the fourth band was the one that they were actually going to let play. So they were like, "Oh, guys, it's okay. We're sorry. The next time you come, you can play on the house, and all the beers will be on the house." But we never ended up actually going back and playing for those guys. We just never made the time to create a plan for making that show happen. We just ended up playing other venues instead.
how do you
But
triple
yeah,
book? That's
I
crazy.
don't know. They apparently had three different people running the calendar, and I
Oh,
don't know. Yeah,
lack of communication.
lack of communication indeed. And it's not a huge deal, but it's kind of bad for a local bar to have that type of reputation like that.
Mm-hmm. Have you ever crowd surfed before?
Have I
Bubblegum
ever
frog
crowd
wants to know.
surfed before? Yeah, I actually have several times. I like going to a lot of concerts and such. I've been to System of a Down. I've seen Journey and Deep Purple and '06. A lot of underground metal concerts in high school. That's what I was into really growing up. I used to be before the band and that happened in high school. I used to be a part of a death metal band, which is a
Ooh,
little off-putting. It's kind of crazy, but yeah, I was just
we the
really into that
vocalist for
scene.
that.
Yeah, I was. I was the vocalist for that, and it was very interesting. It's definitely not what I'm like right now at this time, but it was an interesting phase. And I would go and see metal concerts in high school, but I grew out of that a little bit more. But I still enjoy listening to that music. It reminds me of all the different types of friendships I had with different bandmates and seeing their experiences. But I'm after that, I transitioned into more solo acoustic stuff, and I really got super into that. Um, but the genre that has had the most influence in my life, I would think, would be grunge. since I think the best musician in my opinion, just one of my personal idols is Chris Cornell, Soundgarden and Audio Slave, and he's pretty much who I wanted to kind of be, I guess. Not really be as far as being in a band. I would try and model myself after his type of vocalist, like singing and vocal style and stuff like that. So, huge Chris Cornell fan, and he really influenced me a lot later on.
Do you have any videos up on YouTube or anything of you playing music?
I do. I'm not sure if they're still up there, but they should be on my YouTube channel. But that's the before all the Borderlands stuff, so it might be buried back there somewhere. But yeah, there's a lot of Soundgarden, a lot of different types of grunge covers, and just super into that. And I really like that style of music, and it's still much a part of my style today as far as performing in music.
I'll have to check it out on your YouTube channel. I'll make sure there's a link to that in the description of this
Yep.
video on YouTube. So yeah, it's always interesting to see people's musical exploits, not exploits, musical somethings. Again, words, difficult. Okay. I'm terrible with these segues. Sometimes I can get a good segue going, but usually I'm just like, okay. So the next question. Anyway, um, what would your plans for the future be to do with streaming, and I guess YouTube because you do a little bit of that.
I do a little bit of YouTube, but mostly it is just my Twitch highlights. To be honest, I started that YouTube as a thing to have just all my music stuff on,
Mm-hmm.
but then Twitch started becoming a thing, and it's mostly highlights and um, really, I haven't made a video for YouTube just for YouTube that's not on my Twitch, except
Right.
for a couple things. But primarily, what you'll see on my channel are just stream highlights, and that channel hit around 1,100 subscribers right now, which is more than I could have ever asked for. So that support is pretty crazy, and uh, every person who supported me, I really appreciate it. I never expected to be able to get like 4,800 followers. Is an insane number. If I said that to myself when I first started out, I would be like, "You're absolutely crazy.
Mm-hmm.
There's no way that this will pan out. People watching you play Borderlands 2, because like, oh, who wants to watch Borderlands 2 all the time?" But look at this community. It's stronger and more alive than ever. Even
Mm.
though the games are kind of dwindling down and it's progressed over the years, there's more and more people being introduced, and now Gearbox is reintroducing themselves to the community, changing the look of the forums, trying to market themselves as like, oh, this is the new Gearbox software. We want to be involved with your community. Tell us what you want us to do. And the devs are very open about integrating with the community, just like Joe and Jeff always talk about being able to see these Twitch streamers and being able to have them suggest ideas and anything that they want by coming to the forums, embracing the forums, and letting them know that, hey, this is how you get in contact with us. And if you have anything, we want to be able to help you. So let us know. And I really appreciate the work that they have done and shown to me and everybody else in the Borderlands Twitch community.
Totally. So talking of future stuff and streaming, do you reckon you're going to do another hunt at some point?
Am I going to do another hunt? Um, right now, I'm not sure. At this point, I'm pretty much just taking a break from Borderlands in general at the time. I do want to start doing this season of Diablo 3 and other games I have in mind coming up, like Mortal Kombat and a couple other things. But Borderlands is always going to be a part of my life, and I've just learned to accept it at this point. There's no question about it. And I always have my eye on Gearbox Software, no matter what they do in their future endeavors, whether it be Borderlands or not. They've been a really great support to me as far as being a caster, and the community that I met like here is no other than any other gaming community I've ever been in. Like the Call of Duty community, didn't really enjoy that at all, to
Mm.
be honest.
Yeah, yeah.
Those people are absolutely crazy, but the people here in the Borderlands community, I can really call this home
Yeah, they're very cool
as far
people.
as a gaming community. But as far as Hunt 5, I'll leave it open ended as to whether or not it's going to happen or not.
Hmm.
Um, More than likely, it probably will happen,
Especially if
but
they
I don't
make a
know
Borderlands
if
3.
it'll be, especially if they make Borderlands 3. I'll just say that it'll probably happen. I don't know if it'll be my involvement or not, but
Yeah.
it depends on all what the community wants.
Yeah, well, someone else might make
Seeing
it
gauging
again.
interest and seeing what will happen in the coming years for Gearbox Software. I know they want to push Battleborn and all these other IPs that they have. I'm sure there's different things that they want to be able to progress with other than Borderlands as a series.
Yeah.
Um, but in the end, um, as long as this community is around, I enjoy being a part of the community. I will be here, and I'm never gonna give the Borderlands series up.
Sweet. So, sweet. I don't have very many questions left.
Okay.
So I'll just announce the Q&A portion of this. So if anyone on Twitch wants to ask any questions that you haven't already asked me over on Twitter,
Absolutely, absolutely.
chuck those in there and I'll get to them in a second. I do have a bunch from Twitter as well, the ones that weren't too silly to ask. So I'll get to those in a second. Before we do that, do you have any advice for anyone that's thinking of streaming or is currently streaming or anything like that? I like to ask this of the guests. Any
Well,
advice?
when I first started out streaming, it was just a matter of being persistent about it. The following will come as long as you make enjoyable content that people can relate to, but never sacrifice yourself in order to gain followers. What I mean by that is never change who you are as a personality. Don't become a person who's just a personality for the sake of viewers. Um, I do understand that Twitch is a business nowadays, and people want to understand they want to get partner, and that's a whole huge goal of everything. But you can do that successfully without sacrificing who you are as a person. And I really encourage people to just be themselves and be who you are. Never sacrifice your personality, and never change who you are just for the sake of anything. You always want to be yourself, no matter what. So just do what you got to do and play the game, and the following will come. It really will. People on Twitch are accepting. They are more accepting than I ever thought they would ever be, and
Well, the thing
it's
is,
a
there's
really
so
nice
many
place.
different types of people on Twitch that if you just
Absolutely.
act like yourself, there'll be people that will want to watch that. So I think that's great advice. Right. So Q&A bit. I should probably open up the correct questions thingy. Here we go. So it doesn't look like there's really anything on the Twitch side of things, except Josh R2824 wanting to know if you still throw rocking toga parties.
um, I've never actually thrown a toga party. I've been around toga parties, freshman year in college, but I've never thrown a toga party.
So there you go, Josh. He doesn't still do them because he's never done them before. Oh, here's one from Ginger. You said you're never going to give Borderlands / Gearbox up. Are you ever going to let them down? Oh, shit.
Am I ever gonna let Gearbox down? No. Yes, that's a very nice question. It's all up to them if I let them down, but I understand that question's just a troll, so
Yeah, just completely just a troll. I didn't realize that. Okay, there we
it's
go.
all good.
Moving on. um, for the Twitter questions, plus
Yes.
eight poetry or placate poetry. I'm never sure how to say her
Placate
name.
poetry.
Placate poetry. There you go.
Yeah.
She wanted to know what made you love the Borderlands series so much.
Um, Really, it was coming off the heels of playing a lot of Call of Duty and getting more invested in first-person shooters. I never played games really with loot systems like similar to things like Diablo-esque type games or World of Warcraft type esque Diablo-ish loot systems where it's organized by colors, things like that. I never got into that until I played Borderlands 1, and a lot of my friends around, like in high school, the people I hung out with, they would get into it, and they were super into farming. I didn't really understand what it was at the time, but I grew to like it a lot, and that just started off playing with friends, and it was something that was a break from Call of Duty, and it wasn't boring. It was just same old shooter. You were able to go in and get loot and feel excited about what you're about to find. And then DLCs came out and made the game progressively better, and eventually that built up the hype to Borderlands 2, and then basically that's how it starts.
Yeah. Do you enjoy the? I guess you enjoy the storyline of the Borderlands games as well, not just the end game.
Yeah, I did enjoy the storyline. Borderlands 2, a lot of people had some criticisms about the storyline, but I didn't really mind it. At the point, when I first played Borderlands 1, I was looking into the story, but at that point I realized that it's not really about the story for this type of game. It's more about the loot system, and I got more invested in the gear and
Mm-hmm.
such rather than the story. But I do enjoy the direction that they're taking the narrative with the stuff that they've come out with for the pre-sequel regarding the story. It's pretty interesting to see how these characters developed over years since 2009 to now. So they have their own really nice universe that they've created, Gearbox Software. So it's very enjoyable to see character development like this. A lot of people are a lot of people are on the fence about whether Anthony Birch is a decent enough writer or not, and some people would say that he has issues with talking about social issues and forcing them down people's throat.
Mm. Yeah.
That's a common conception that a lot of people have because of the things that he writes about, and there's obviously a lot of stuff that hints to certain aspects of social just interaction. Um, Within the Borderlands storyline because of the way he wrote the story. And to me, I didn't mind the story of Borderlands 2 at all, really. It's more about the loot for me, but I understand the criticisms of him that people do pass around. But in the end, do I hate the guy? Absolutely not. I enjoyed the story. And
It's great that they
I
can
mean,
make it into a universe thing. I do kind of. That's one of my favorite
yeah,
things
oh
about
yeah,
any kind of
absolutely.
story is when they can create a whole universe with characters that
Yeah,
go
he
through
did
the
a great
different
job
ones and
with Borderlands 2 as the script goes and everything like that. And
yeah.
I wish him the best in his future endeavors as he recently left Gearbox Software. No, it was a while ago now, maybe a couple months ago now. Yeah.
Mm. So talking of the loot, which is your favorite part, Kat wanted to know what your favorite gun of all three Borderlands games is, if you have one.
Favorite gun of all three Borderlands games. That is actually a tough one. I don't know off the top of my head. Um, it would probably have to be, and this one's going to be a really big throwback. It's not even it's not even that great, I would say, in the end game. But one of the first guns that I got really excited about when I found it was the Typhoon in Borderlands 1, which is it's a or it can be bluish purple SMG that spins around in a barrel or like a spiral pattern. And when I first found that, I really didn't know much about it, but I was like, "Oh, this gun spins in circles,
Oh, the
yay!"
bullet
And
spin.
yeah, and I realize now that there's different types of attachments that can make your regular SMGs like a twister barrel, but the Typhoon is meant to be like that, and that
Hmm.
was the first gun I got super excited about, and I wouldn't I wouldn't say that would be my favorite gun in the entire series,
It's
but
kind of
that's the
hard to
first
have a
gun that I
favorite,
had like a
especially when
memory
you
of. Yeah.
use lots of different things for everything. Got to
Exactly,
switch around and
exactly.
stuff. So
So I wouldn't say there's in particular one favorite gun. So but that's the one I remember vividly because I was still new to the
hmm
series at that time when I first saw that.
it's yeah, those moments where you go, "Wow, I didn't realize this was a thing." Is quite cool.
Yeah.
And it's kind of cool that it seems to be happening. It's still happening with Borderlands series, even
Oh
though
yeah. Yes.
like Borderlands 2 and
Absolutely.
Borderlands, there's still things that people are finding which are quite awesome.
Yep. Absolutely. Absolutely. In this game, for people who are not introduced to the Borderlands series, it has so much to offer, and really glad to be able to illustrate that by being a part of the community,
Hmm.
seeing what people are able to produce as far as content for this game, because game has quite a history behind it, and glad to see that people are still invested in the community.
So talking of favorite stuff, there were a bunch of questions on Twitter about your favorite things, like your favorite color and favorite blah blah blah. Do you want to just get out of the way some like favorite things that you have?
Sure. Did you have anything in specific or
Color.
color? Probably Maybe blue or maybe a bluish green and blue, probably.
Right, there you go. Food.
Food, I don't really have a favorite food to be honest. It's if it had to be something, it would probably be family home cooked food that I had, which would probably be Filipino food since I'm half Filipino.
Right.
So yeah.
Favorite game.
Right now it's the Borderlands series, but overall I think I had a lot of fun being a part of the Ultimate Marvel vs. Capcom 3 series, the community just watching streams for that. So I would say that's a really big part of fighting games when I really got into fighting games. And also, Fallout is probably one of my favorite series out of everything I've ever played. Nothing has captivated me like Fallout, Fallout 2, Fallout 3, and Fallout New Vegas. And I can't wait for Fallout 4 if that announcement is coming to
Mm-hmm.
E3. Hopefully it will be. But I'm a huge Fallout fan. I did play Skyrim, I did play those games too, and I also enjoy a lot of Bethesda games.
Sweet. Favorite. I can't think of anything else favoritey that I could ask you. I know. I
Um,
think there were other ones on Twitter. I didn't actually copy them over. Sorry if
yeah,
I missed the questions, guys. They're not that important. You guys can ask him on his streams and
yeah,
things
just
anyway.
ask me. I'm a
Yeah.
nice guy.
Oh, here was a favourite one actually. Frog asked which of Duval Magic. So, who's that? That's Randy Pitchford.
Randy
Which of
Pitchford.
his magic tricks are your favourite? If you've ever seen
Um,
any of stuff.
he's been done like magic tricks on stage. At like see, he's a I almost said musician. He is a magician,
Yeah, yeah.
and he does like to open some press conferences with some showboaty stuff.
It's quite funny.
Um, it is quite funny, and I don't know. I wouldn't say I have a favorite. He's just enjoyable, and I really like the detail in his shirts because
Yes,
they're
his
so
short
outlandish.
shirts are
His
amazing.
shirts are amazing, and I want to know what store he gets them at, and I want to be able to
Yes.
buy like 100 of them.
They're probably too expensive for us though.
Yeah, yeah.
Catastrophics was being a bit creepy and she wants to know what the first thing you do when you wake up is.
The first thing I do when I wake up in the morning
Oh,
is I
you.
brush my teeth.
Oh, okay. I was going to say you probably put your pants on one leg at a time.
Yeah, well, yeah,
That's cool
do
back,
that
dude.
too. Yeah,
Brush
but
your
yeah, I
teeth.
brush my teeth.
So get straight up and brush your teeth. There you go,
Yeah.
cat. Now you know. Um, oh, that's a good one. Sentient Pickle just put on Twitter. I like how Randy makes shitters disappear on Twitter with a click of a mouse.
Ah, yes, yes.
Back when,
He has a history of being quite eccentric on Twitter, and
hmm especially
that's
back
just
when pre-sequel came out and there was all the scandal all over Twitter about it.
it
And
says a lot about a gaming company when their CEO is not afraid to actually say something
I kind of
on
like that.
Twitter. Yeah, it makes it straight up with people that he's being able to see what's going on and can acknowledge it to a certain extent. Now I understand he has PR people and things to hold him back from saying like call it censoring himself, if you will, but he's very uncensored as a person. You can see that when he does interviews and things like that, and I really like the way that he responds to some of these people on Twitter, and it just his involvement in talking about things inside the Borderlands community. He's one of those guys who doesn't hesitate to favorite or retweet something that's happening, some whether it be small or big, or whether it be a piece of fan art or something that is going on around the community. He's very different than other gaming company CEOs who sometimes don't even involve themselves in the community after the game's released.
hmm
So what I do like about Gearbox Software.
Yeah. Queen had a couple of questions on Twitter. Do you regret your friend's choices? I think that was kind of a jokey question.
Absolutely not. No, absolutely not. Everybody's been so amazing to me as part of the Borderlands community, and yeah, I wouldn't trade any of it for anything really.
Door. They're so cute. And she had another one. What's the most desperate thing you've ever done? Hashtag no censor.
What's the most desperate thing I've ever done? No censor. Um, I don't know how I want to take this because Desperate as in
Yeah, I
like
don't know. I'm not 100% sure either what she kind of meant by that. Maybe it's like uh, when you I don't know. I don't even know. Do you have anything that you think could work for that answer or?
the most desperate thing, I mean, desperate to get out of a situation. We've all had certain times like that. There's one my freshman year in college. I've had a couple of times like that when oh it's college freshman year. Yeah, you go to a party and things happen. And you just like oh yeah, you're doing stuff you shouldn't be doing and stuff like that, and ends up things like that get busted by the cops and a lot of a lot of things like that. So I there were times in my freshman year where parties would get busted like that by the cops, and we've had to run a few times. But as far as desperate to get out of a situation, that's the only thing I can really think of. I don't think that's really the only thing that comes to mind.
Right. So just running from cops, so nothing too
Yes,
too
I
amazing.
mean, uh, yeah, I guess it sounds bad, but it's college,
Oh
and that's
yeah.
how it was. That's how it was. That's how the culture was. I went to West Virginia University my freshman year, and that is known for being a notorious party school. They had a lot of people. I think 27,000 students were undergraduates, and that's like a lot of people who are
Yeah.
around ages 18 to 24, and they're all just in the same city in the middle of West Virginia, which is very rural, but then you have this huge bustling community with bars and the nightlife and everything like that, and local peoples and all their houses and students and all coming together, and they were huge in football at the time, and they're huge in basketball at the time, and it was just a really crazy experience. So I've had some crazy experiences back then, um, and that leads to some crazy situations that you desperately need to get out of.
Sweet. Alrighty. Well, I think that was the better questions that I could find from the Twitter stuff. I'll just have a look over
Yeah.
there now and see if anyone had posted things since I started streaming, but I don't think so. Um, well, Too Much 69 on Twitter wanted to say, thanks for the idea of the hunts, and it's helped keep the Borderlands community alive. So there you go.
I really appreciate that, and I really appreciate everybody. And what I want to say about that is the hunts are great. The hunts are great events, and I'm really glad that people enjoyed the event. But it wasn't just me who keeps the Borderlands community alive. It's everybody. It's all of you guys. Everybody who enjoys the series, everybody who watches, everybody who plays, everybody who's keeping this game alive after several years after the game's release, and just shows how invested this community is, and it'll always be here because the game itself deserves a community like this. It's so great to a point where people can come together and have one common idea and interest, and that is the Borderlands series. And I really enjoy the game, and I'm really glad that this community exists.
Great. Well, I think that's a great note to finish it on, finish this podcast on. So I want to say a big
Alrighty,
thank you to you for coming on the
I
podcast,
appreciate that.
talking
Appreciate that.
about the
Thank you for
hunt.
having me.
Oh, you're welcome. You're welcome. It was a good podcast. I enjoyed it. Do you want to tell
I'm glad.
everyone your links, the places they can find you?
Places you can find me, I'm at twitch.tv/PBRAGanza. That's PBRAGANZA. You can find me at my Twitter at Ganza, EGNGANZAEGN. And my YouTube channel is youtube.com/arm the homeless, which is a Rage Against the Machine reference. If anybody didn't know that, ARMTHEHOME1 ESS. The L is a one. So that's my YouTube, and all that stuff is linked from the forums profile page and all the stuff I have there on Twitter. So, yeah.
Sweet. And those links will all be in the description of the YouTube video. And I think there's a Nightbot command that I can. Well, there was a Nightbot timer with those links in it as well.
Yep.
So if people want to scroll
I
up,
appreciate
it's up
that. I
there.
appreciate that a lot.
Sweet, and my links, if you guys want to find more of my stuff while the dogs are barking in the background, of course, it'll be twitch.tv/Mr. Gruntle, youtube.com/Mr. Gruntle, and twitter.com/Mr. Gruntle. So if you want to follow me or subscribe to me or whatever over there, then that'd be cool. Thanks to everyone that listened or will listen, who would then be listening to this right now. So thanks to everyone that has listened. There we go. That will work for everything. It's nice to have people interested in the podcast, and I hope this continues to be a thing that's fun for everybody.
Absolutely, absolutely. This has been an awesome time talking with you, and I really want to encourage other streamers to come out and talk and get their thoughts and ideas on the Borderlands community, what's going on in their lives. And it's really good to have somebody like this and have an outlet like this to talk about things that are happening within the Borderlands community. So keep up the good work. I really, really like the podcast.
Thanks, man. I'm happy to do it. It's enjoyable. It's mostly just for me, though. It's not really, but like I enjoy talking to the people, so hopefully I can continue to do this. It's a lot of fun. I want to start talking to bigger streamers as well and see what their opinion on the whole thing is. Like the people that do it for a living, it'd be quite interesting to talk to those people. Everyone should spam Baru and Rob on Twitter and get them to come on my podcast. Go on, guys. No, don't do that. Don't do that. Anyway, yeah. Well, thanks everyone. And there's one last little thing. Sentient Pickle wanted to know what the PBRA part of your username comes from.
Okay. So what it originally is, if you guys know, it's something similar to another Twitch. I'll use it as an example. So, Arleson85, his name is Rob, and his username is his first initial combined with his last name and his birth year. Mine is the same thing. It's my first initial with my last name, but there's no birth year. So that's why. People always got confused, like, oh, do you like PBR? Is that why? Are you in a clan that's PBRA? What does that mean? So just easier to just say my name is like the last part Ganza. But it's basically the same premise as Rob's, where it's like first initial, last name. So that's where that comes from, really.
Sweet. All right, now you know, Pickle. There we go.
Yep.
So thanks to everyone again, and I will catch you not next week. Actually, this is a little quick announcement. I will not be having a podcast next week because I am going away with family, but it should be 2 weeks' time, should be the next podcast. So I hope to see you guys then. Thanks for listening, and yeah.